All right. Just going to give a couple more minutes here, and I'm going to flip over to my headphones. What's up, SK?
What's going on, man?
Hold on. Connecting to sound.
What's up, everybody?
There we go.
Welcome in with this game show. What's going on, everybody? I'm here with Justin Day, my guy, your boy SK, obviously, and we're going to have a special guest join us in just a bit as soon as he joins our little chat room on the side. I'll be sure to get him in. Writer for the NFL over in the UK who actually attended the game today, so he can kind of, give us some outlook on actually being there and how the environment was. So that'll be fun to go over. And then obviously we're going to be going over all your guys' questions, so be sure to drop them in the comment box. And obviously share our video, man. Just give us some support. We don't ask for money. We don't ask for much. Just hit that share button and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Purple Code. So Vikings come out on top, but obviously we got to give our shout out to our sponsors real quick. And if you're looking for a good meal after a good win, go ahead and stop by Rinaldi's Pizza and Pasta. They're located at 1560 Wood Lane Drive in Woodbury, Minnesota. Mention the Purple Code or TPC, and they will give you that family discount. Now, obviously,
those cheese bread is ridiculous. I'll tell you that right now. It's outstanding.
All of that. And obviously, if you want to get a healthy meal, go ahead and stop by our other sponsor, Nautica Bowls. They're also located in Woodbury at 9955 Hudson Place. Mention the Purple Code or TPC, and they will give you that TPC family discount. We're family everywhere, so be sure to stop in, mention the Purple Code, and they will take care of you. So, hey, Justin, we're back, man. We did the initial reaction to the game immediately after it finished. Vikings come out on top 28-24. How we feeling, man? Did you let it sink in a little bit? We went over a lot of negatives at the initial reaction show. So we're going to focus on the positives now. We're 3-1, guys, headed into a game against the Chicago Bears, who are 2-2 now. They just dropped a game to the New York Giants. How are we feeling now that it's kind of set in and we're 3-1?
Well, I'll say this. It was almost a perfect day by the time it was all said and done. The Vikings squeaked out a victory. The Bears get spanked. They look terrible. Detroit had 48 points put up on them, and Bill Belichick almost did the impossible. And frankly, they gave that game to the Packers here. That would have been the superfecta if had the Packers lost there. But still in the lead of the division at the quarter pole at 3-1. You got to get this W next week to stay undefeated in the division. But upon further review, this team just is what it is. And yes, we would have liked to see more convincing victories, not so much because we care about style points, but more so because if this is how they're going to play every team, then we're going to be in way too many dogfights. And at some point, it's like, just have a comfortable victory, because when we start playing better teams, we're in for pack a lunch type situations. But having said that, upon further review and thinking back on it, they came out with a W. They did what they needed to do, and let's move forward and fix some of the issues we got and see if we keep running these games off. It's as simple as that.
And the thing, they're not going to get any easier. It doesn't matter the opponent's record. It doesn't matter how good or bad the quarterback is that we're playing. It's just going to be a difficult. I'm not going to say difficult. Every game is going to present its own problems. And we got a tough one against the Chicago Bears next week. We all know the Chicago Bears always play us tough. I don't care how shitty of a team they are. The Chicago Bears always seem to play us tough, and sometimes they have our number. Hopefully that's not the case this year. I don't think it is. But we obviously struggle with mobile quarterbacks. So I think we've seen it with Jalen Hurts. We can't sit back in that cover two shell that Donatell loves to play so much. We got to attack Justin Fields, man. So, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's kind of focus on this win today. But I'll ask everybody watching, go ahead and drop it in the comment box. Are you any more confident in this team after today than you were after the Lions game? Does it change anything? Like, I'll ask you too, Justin. Like, do you feel any different about this team after this game than you did the Detroit game?
Not really. I don't feel any different about the defense because they have lived up to expectations, proper expectations. If your expectation was they were going to be the Vikings defense like Zimmer in their prime, then that was an unlofty expectation to have. So to me, the defense has lived up to their end of the bargain. Special teams, somewhat balled out today. I don't expect that level of trickery and, you can't count on turnovers on punts and whatever else here.
Hey, that got me too. That fake punt, that faked me. I wasn't expecting that.
So offensively, we've said it a few times, but they've got to shore some things up. It really is as simple as that. This team will go as far as the offense will take them. So I don't know that I feel any better or worse than after Detroit, simply because they played a sloppy game and they came out with a victory. So other than the fact that this game was not at home, there was nothing more or less impressive to me about today's victory than last week's. But we're still talking about two victories here. So as far as where we go, we're just going to have to accept that this is who they are, and hopefully they'll be able to put some pieces in place to be able to clean up some of the messes that they've had to be able to get better.
Yeah, and we actually got our special guest tapping in. Justin's going to tap him in for us. Straight from the UK, was actually 10 minutes away
How's it going?
from the actual stadium. So I don't know if he walked there, if he Ubered there, if he took a scooter there, but he's actually an NFL writer for Fan Side, and he covers the Minnesota Vikings and Baltimore Ravens. Mohamed Salad. I hope I said that right. The last name. I might have it.
No, you said it well. You said it well. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Mohamed Salad joining us. He was at the game today, guys. So I'm going to ask you off the bat, man, how was the energy in the stadium? It sounded super loud to start the game.
I didn't realize that the Minnesota Vikings had such a massive following here in the UK. I did not know that, because even though it was technically a road game or an away game for us, we were the home team, because on third down, it was quiet. On third down on the other side, it was extremely loud. Another thing I noticed is there was so many people that actually traveled from Minnesota to come to this game. People from Bloomington, Fargo, St. Cloud, like just everybody from all over the place. So that was actually really, really impressive. I really enjoyed it. But same old Minnesota Vikings, incredible first drive, and then kind of just fizzle out towards the end, and then hope for some sort of magic in the end of the game to kind of win it. But we're winning games now, games that we'd usually struggle to win. Right at the end of games, we're kind of clawing in those W's. So that's all that matters, I guess.
Hey man, like I said to Justin earlier on, this same team last year would have found a way to lose these past two games.
Yeah, well, I was telling my friend, we would be 1-3 right now last year
under Zimmer. Yep. We most definitely would. And it's a mindset. So if you want it, the biggest positive out of these last two wins, and we can talk about the negatives all you want, but you also got to look at the positives, that we found a way to muck out two wins that we almost didn't have any business winning. We should have blown these Saints out today. Let's be real. We had 5 trips to the red zone, I believe. They all ended in field goals. So you cannot allow that to happen. You cannot continue to just put up field goals and expect to beat good teams. We were playing Andy Dalton and the New Orleans Saints without Kamara, without Mike Thomas. They're getting banged up all over the field. So I think that was the negative that we took from it. But we also got to take in that positive, to where we're finding a way to win these games that we would have gave away a year ago. So that was a big positive I took out of today's game. But Justin, I know you had some things that you wanted to ask about maybe the environment or whatever went on through the game, because you don't see everything on the telecast. It's a whole lot different actually being at the game and seeing what's going on. So
I guess the first thing I would ask is, what was the percentages of fans there? Was it majority Vikings, majority Saints, about 50-50? What do you think?
The thing is, when they have these UK NFL games, every NFL fan goes, so you'll have fans from all over. You have fans from everywhere. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's a less hostile environment for any of the teams. But there was a significant portion of Minnesota Vikings fans. I took a video, and there was purple in every single section of the field. Wow. It was incredible. It was incredible.
That's awesome. So is that the first? I'm guessing, but is it the first time you've gone to a game there? Did you go to any of the previous games?
I mean, the Vikings.
Like 17.
This is our third time in London, and I've been to all 3 games. I mean, I go to all the NFL games that come here every year, because it's such a massive occasion, because the sport is growing here, and I'm obviously a massive fan of the sport.
Yeah, you said you were about 10 minutes away from the stadium, right? You said,
yeah, it's around the corner from my house. It's where I grew up. So Tottenham Stadium is literally right there. So it's huge.
I bet I know you guys real quick.
You got the back end of all of the purple coat, as well as all of Viking fans everywhere next week. Go ahead and show your purple and root on those Giants. We're Giants fans for a day next Sunday there. That's for sure.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
That's right.
No, it was incredible. It was an incredible performance. I mean, everything. For a fan that's going to the game, there was a lot of excitement. You had the turnovers, you had the red zone stops, there was just everything that you could want in a game that you're watching live. And obviously, we got the win at the end. So I mean, there's nothing more you could really ask for from a fan perspective being at the game.
Oh yeah, you got an exciting game. The one thing is a blowout. Even if your team wins, it's awesome. But then if it's a blowout in the second, third quarter, the game kind of drags on to where it's like, all right, it's over. Let's try and hit the exits early. We're up 20-something odd points. Well,
that's never going to be the case with our Minnesota Vikings.
Not with us.
It's just never going to. It's never
not
gonna
with
be the
us.
case. We'll find a way to make it difficult for ourselves. Like we go to the lead, they have 29 seconds on the clock, literally no timeouts, and we still find a way to give them an opportunity. It just makes no sense. But I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way.
So I'll ask you this. I don't know if you have anything else for Muhammad. I have a question for him, but so obviously you're a writer. You're gonna write your article on the Vikings.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna ask you to give away your exact title to what you are gonna write, but when you go in to write this article about this game, about this team, what is your headline going to be, or what would your headline be for this game and how you this team?
I mean, I'm a massive Kirk Cousins fan, so it would probably be something along the lines of
okay,
Kirk Cousins does it again, because the biggest knock on Kirk Cousins is when things are going well, he when things are going well, he's the guy you want. But when things aren't going so well, he kind of doesn't do it for you. But over the last 2 weeks, we've seen that even though Kirk may have not been having a great game by his standards, when he's needed to do it the most with less than a minute left, he's made that incredible throw to win us the game. And echoing what you said at the start, the fact that we're winning games playing ugly is a good sign, because when this team does hit mid-season form, when Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, when they finally understand and they start playing the way Coach O'Connell wants them to play, this team's going to be scary, you know. And I know a lot of people have been kind of being annoyed at defensive coordinator Ed Donatel, but even though between the 20s teams are driving up and down, we're not conceding many points. We're not conceding many touchdowns. So I feel like when this team does hit mid-season form and everything is clicking, we're going to be a very, very scary team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you can tell that offense, defense is a whole nother story, but you can tell that offense is in a little bit of a funk. They're still trying to get things together. And we actually talked about it in our post-game reaction, that this team still, especially the offense, still has to get better, and it will. So things are headed in the right direction. I think we're all on the same page.
Justin Jefferson had a quiet 150 yards today. Like a quiet 150.
Like I don't know where the 147 came from, but he got it.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So like, we've got players that are having quiet 150. Adam Thielen had 80 yards. Irv Smith had a decent. I mean, I don't think KJ Osborne even had a catch today.
He had one
catch.
So it was so we're quietly just getting the job done, keeping it close, and then winning games. I think we're going to get to a point where where things go the way they did in week 1, where everything's just going our way. That's going to come later on in the season, and hopefully by the time playoffs come, where we're executing the way we should be, and we know we can.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of discussed our next 4 weeks, which is mixed in with a bye. So our next 3 opponents, they're all winnable games. Now, we're not going to sit here and count them as wins, because we know how difficult this team can be, regardless of who we play. But we got the Bears at home. We go to Miami. We got a bye, and then we welcome the Cardinals to US Bank Stadium. Those are all 3 winnable games. We could be sitting here at 6-1 in a month from now saying, all right, hey, look, we're hitting our stride now, and hopefully by the bye week is when, you know, we're where we need to be. We're starting to look like the team we all think we can be. Everybody's getting involved. The positive side is you see Thielen starting getting more involved now. We're starting to put things together for Thielen, which opened up things for Justin Jefferson later on in the game, and that's what you got to do. First play of the game, we got to Justin Jefferson on a little bubble screen. I think he went for like 11 yards. First drive was amazing for our offense. Like you said, Muhammad, came out guns blazing.
That's the sign of a good coach as well, because when your first drives are that incredible, you know that like it's been planned out, you've practiced it. So it's always a good thing knowing that, okay, first drive of the game, you've got 7 points there, like just ready for you. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, most definitely. There's plenty of positives to pull out of this, even though you do want to look at the negatives. But let's get to some of these comments. Josh Pierman says the defense needs to get better against the run. If Kamara was to play, we may have lost. Yeah, if they had any one of their main players there, we would probably be in a different situation here if they had a Michael Thomas.
My response to that is the Vikings do usually play up or down to our competition. So if Kamara plays, we probably play a little bit better than, you know, I feel like we know that we're playing against Andy Dalton and Mark Ingram and Chris Olave, a rookie, you know, so I feel like that it's just the Vikings way, bro. It's just something we're so used to seeing.
Yeah, so you mentioned you're a Kirk Cousins fan. My bad, Justin. I'll let you go.
No, I was just going to read the next one there. You know, SKOL'd Mafia makes up a very good point about how the special teams was extremely well today. A couple more here from John here. I'll get this one here. Chicago will tell us how we're looking. I totally agree. Chicago is an absolute dumpster fire offensively, but they still got their
be
horses on defense, and so they're not going to be able to just run over and just have a hey, we'll just show up and beat these guys type of situation there. So go ahead, SK.
Yeah, so you mentioned you're a big Kirk Cousins fan. So out there where you're living, which obviously I don't know the city and area, but are they as tough on Kirk as they are out here in the States, or is he more like beloved out there amongst the fan base and football fans?
I think with Kirk Cousins, it's the same reaction everywhere you go in the world. Like you can go to Africa and you'll see people that love him and hate him. Like it's just, I think that's just how Kirk Cousins. I mean, I just think that's just the way it is with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
I feel like even today, sections of the fans will be like, "Oh, why is he checking it down?" And then other sections of the fans will be like, "Oh, great decision, Kirk Cousins." Like everything he does, you can look at it in two ways. You can look at it from a he's being conservative point, or you can look at it as he's taking care of the ball. Like everything he does is kind of there's no sleep for me, man. I mean, I'm waiting for Tom Brady and Kansas City Chiefs right now. There's no sleep.
Hey, it's football, baby. We stay up all night for it.
Yeah, there's no such thing as sleep during the NFL season for myself.
Hell no. I woke up at 5:30 this morning to catch our game. So you got to stay up late.
I'm going to be up till 5:30 to finish this game.
So is it Saturday or Sunday out there?
It's Sunday. It's Monday morning now. It's 1 a.m. on a Monday morning.
Oh wow! So you're getting up and going to work the next day, or you're getting up and writing your article the next day.
Yeah, no, I've got some articles to write tomorrow. But I gave myself a bit of a line.
Before you get out of here, is there anything you want to ask him, Justin?
Well, Dave brings up a very good point here. So he's just asking, how'd you become a Viking fan? What's his favorite memory, favorite game, that sort of thing? What you got for us, Mo?
Well, I've been a Vikings fan for about 10 years now, 10 or so years. I was always I have a lot of family in the States. So since 1999, I've been traveling to the States back and forth every single year. When I started my NFL journey, I was going to Boston a lot, so it was kind of a New England Patriots thing. But then a lot of my family moved to Minnesota, and then the main reason I became a Minnesota Vikings fan is Adrian Peterson. Just watching Adrian Peterson do what Adrian Peterson does, and just going to a few games at the old stadium, and you just see the energy that people have, and you're just like, I really want to be part of this. My favorite memory would probably be the season opener at the US Bank Stadium, the first game we had at the US Bank Stadium.
That was against the Giants, right?
Yes, sir. And
so were you there in person?
Yeah. I've been to the season, like before COVID. I went to all three season openers, so the Giants, the 49ers, and the Falcons as well.
Oh wow, nice.
So I traveled to Minnesota. I travel to Minnesota very, very regularly. Like even I was there this past summer as well. Like I'm there all the time. My entire family.
Yeah, I was out there for the season opener this year. I'll be back out in December more than likely for the Colts game. So I make sure I try and get out there as well. But
my worst memory.
Man.
If it wasn't always that game against the Eagles in the NFC Championship in 2017. My personal worst memory. So.
Let's not talk about that. But thank you, Muhammad, for stopping by, man.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to meet you guys. I hope it goes well for you guys, and let's enjoy this late night game on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Plug your Twitter as well, man. Let the people know where they can find you and follow you.
At Salad NFL on Twitter. I write for the Minnesota Vikings. I write for the Baltimore Ravens as well. Thank you guys for having me on, and wish you guys all the best.
Absolutely. We'll work together again too, Muhammad.
Absolutely.
Thanks for stopping in.
Anytime you invite me, anytime you're ready, just hit me up and I'll be ready.
All right. Thank you, sir. Peace out, man.
Take care, guys. Much appreciated. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
You too.
All right. So that was Mohamed Salad from Fansided, writes for the Minnesota Vikings and Baltimore Ravens. Go ahead and give him a follow at Salad NFL, or Salad is how you pronounce it, but it's spelled salad. So go ahead and give him a follow on Twitter. He does really good work for Fansided. But it's down back to me and you, Justin, man. Before we get out of here, what else you want to touch on? I mean, we got the win. We're 3-1. It was ugly and mucky. I guess we're used to that. What else we got to say about this before we move on to these Bears?
Well, we got to read some comments, and I know Rap was going to try and tap in for a couple minutes here anyway, but I put it up a minute ago. But yes, special teams, we talked about that. All right, Dave, yes, we did talk about it a little earlier, but we can go over it again. Poor red zone. Yeah, so coming from behind fourth quarter, absolutely, definitely a plus. Listen, you're not going to be able to get away with that against non-mediocre teams. Right now, the Saints, as a whole, they're a mediocre team. They got a very, very good defense, but their offense is just kind of whatever. The Lions are a mediocre team. I don't know exactly what to make of the Packers as of yet. They did what we did. They found a way to squeak out a victory in a game that they didn't play very well. They didn't play all that well against Tampa Bay, but for a couple of drives early on last week, beating the Bears, that's what I'll say this. At the moment, the only thing the Vikings need to be concerned about vis-a-vis this division is the Green Bay Packers. So you have to match what they did. What they did was they beat Chicago at home. Again, an ugly game. It wasn't a blowout of any sort like that. So that's what we're going to have to take care of there next week. But there's not a whole lot of great teams in the entire NFC, much less in our division. So they are, as much as there are times where they drive us crazy and they make things more difficult on themselves and they need to, they're right there. This division is right there for the taking. I know Rap had a couple of comments in here earlier. I've been scrolling through so many of them here now. Okay, well, I'm going to circle back to that.
Mentioning our division,
too many field goals.
That Detroit win doesn't feel any better after what happened with Detroit today.
No.
48 points to the Seahawks at home. That, like, to Geno Smith and the Seahawks, dude, that win doesn't feel any better after today. I mean, a win's a win. I don't mean to go back and harp on that, but that win doesn't feel any better after what the Detroit Lions look like today. 48 points at home you gave up to the Seattle Seahawks. That's ugly. That's disgusting.
That is terrible. That is terrible. Hey, Marie, what's going on? Nice to hear from you. Yeah, we did mention again, we're talking about the defense being what it is, that yes, it's going to give up points. It's going to be bend, don't break. And that, frankly, the defense was, to me, the bigger reason we were in a position to be able to kick those long field goals, to be able to have those last two drives where the offense finally did step up there. So, yes, defense and special teams gave the Vikings all kinds of opportunities here. I'm going to get a few more comments in here. I know Rap is getting ready here, so hold on just a quick second here. Thanks for tapping in, Chris. Appreciate you. Let's see, who else? We already talked about that one. Yeah, this is a good point here. We did minutes by Tamario. We're winning these games that last year we lost. We talked about that earlier, and we'll talk about here a little bit again here too as well. That's one difference from last year. Is these are games where we just said to ourselves, we had so many opportunities to pull out a victory, and if we just did one or two things, we would have won the game. And this year they finally are actually doing
those one or two things.
Oh, we got 1.5 with Rap here. Here we go. Let's get him in here.
First of all, can we stop? Can we stop the Lions? Can we just stop the Lions going to the playoff BS, man? Can we just stop that now, man? Cut the nonsense.
The Lions. Here we go with the Lions slander. Here we go.
I never said they were going to the playoffs. I never said they were going to the playoffs. What I said was,
I think Mike said it. I think it was Mike.
Well, Mike.
I said borderline. I said borderline playoff team.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's up with you, Rap? How are you?
Not much, man. We chilling, man. I got my baby with me. Hey, she get on with me when we get the dub. You hear me? Like she bring the W's. You feel me? So yeah, she got
hit that subscribe button. We bring babies on the show. Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, for sure. You know
for
that.
For the baby.
Yeah, I ain't worrying about nobody playing with mine, boy. I die behind this. You hear me?
There you go.
For real.
All right, give us your quick thoughts. We'll get back to the comments here in a minute. What do you got, Rap?
Man, listen. We played a decent game. You feel me? It wasn't the best game ever, but it was a good game. We won again, so we can't be mad at that. Got another dub. Barely. A double doink, man. What's up? Like, double doink. That thing, man, when I told Dave, man, I was like, Dave, watch. We're going to give them a chance to tie this game up. I guarantee it. And what happens? 32-yard pass down the middle to Chris Olave from Andy Dalton. Like, why do we do this? That's the only thing I just gotta wonder, like, why? Why do the Vikings do this, man? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. But it is what it is. We gotta win. We 3-1, man. We on top of the division. So let's be hype about that.
Can't disagree with anything you said there. At the end of the day, it's like they work in the healthcare industry, and they need to make sure that they have enough patients coming back to see the therapy sessions or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna say this though, I did take a quick peek at you and Dave's post game show, and I think you guys nailed pretty much all of that there. But I don't want to get too much into the he who shall not be named when it's not Wednesday nights that might have a number between 7 and 9, but. We all know that there were struggles early and that once again, there was a lot of inconsistencies, but what did you think? We'll stay positive here because I think we got all of the negativity out earlier. What did you think of the last 2 drives there, Rab? Let's start there.
I think they were all right. You know, he made the throw that mattered. You feel me? But he played a regular game. Like he played a game that a quarterback should play. He played just like Andy Dalton played. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he outdid because if you can argue that if they would have hit that field goal, I mean, Andy Dalton played just as good as Kirk Cousins. Now they didn't hit the field goal, but still yet though, you know what I mean? He made a bunch of good throws out there, but you know, Kurt's 2 weeks in a row has made a throw that mattered. And that's all I can ask for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to slander the man if we catching dubs, but I feel like we do need to play better in the red zone though. There's no reason why we should be in the red zone and not putting up 7, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when we're that close and the weapons we have, Kurt needs to rise above and get the W, man. That's it.
Yeah, he's done it.
And by hooker, yeah, he has the last couple of weeks. I'll say that for all we've ever said about this, and this. Well, last year it didn't happen all that often, and you could argue when you got games against the Dallas Cowboys and Cooper Rush at home and you only scored 16 points, or the walk-off loss to Detroit. Yeah, you only scored 9 points through the first 2.5 quarters before you started rolling on offense. And some similarities here where you had opportunities to be up 10, 14, maybe dare I say 21 points. But through it all, at the end of it all, there have been times where if we were tied, I would just be cringeworthy of, I want them to be aggressive here, but I don't want them to, have 3 incomplete passes and then we're punting the ball back to the defense and the other team still got time on there. I actually don't feel as uncomfortable in a tie ball game or even being down 3 than I had been before. So, we can talk about Kirk Cousins, this, that, and whatever else, but the last 2 weeks he has come through in the clutch when needed. Now, does that completely invalidate some of the narratives that have been spoken towards him for years upon years? No. A game or 2 doesn't. You give him props when he comes through, but 1 or 2 games in September or October doesn't completely erase, 8 years of history of being a quarterback whose teams have had a 500 record. Now, is it all him? No,
How dare you? But, how dare you?
No, I know. Well, it's funny. I saw a stat. I saw a stat yesterday when somebody was talking about would you rather have Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins? And if you take out Derek Carr,
hey, real quick, Justin, I think me and you should start a show called the Hate 8 Show, man. You know, Hate 8. We should start the Hate 8.
Well, I don't. Contrary to popular opinion, I don't actually hate the guy. I just don't think he's as wonderful as some would make him out to be. But what I was going to say is, if you take out Derek Carr's 3-13 season and his sophomore season when he was just playing on a terribly bad team and being in the game far earlier than Kirk was, he's basically got the same 500 record as Kirk Cousins does, which a lot of these quarterbacks do, and that's just kind of what they are. Are they better than your Teddy Bridgewaters or your Mitchell Trubisky's and Case Keenums and whatnot? Sure, absolutely. But for right now, as I said to SK earlier, I would rather it be the offense that has room to improve, being that they're supposed to be the strength of this team, versus it being the defense. Mm-hmm. If the offense was already tapped out as high as it could be with no room to grow, then this team would be in a lot of trouble. So the sky is the limit for this team. They do have the ability to be able to elevate themselves into at least a top 10 team. And they've got, as we talked about earlier, SK, these next 4 games, 2 on each side of the bye week, if they can go 3-1 or even 4-0, as you said, we're not predicting that, but if they can do that, they really set themselves up once they hit the rougher part of their schedule to be in a good position where you have this thing that they rarely do called a margin of error. So, what else do you got in here before I get back to some of these comments here real quick?
Go ahead and get to the comments, man. I know they're asking a couple of things and putting stuff out there. I seen John just put one up, so I threw it up there on the board.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Harrison Smith. At first it looked like it might have been a hand injury, but yes, there's been some discussion that it was just a little friendly fire below the belt. So hopefully not that any of us would wish that on any man playing football, but
I'm sure he'd much rather get kicked in the nuts than break his wrist. Right?
Well, I don't know, but jokes aside, from a moving forward standpoint of being able to play it next week, I would concur with that assessment. About anything else, I'm not sure here. Skull Mafia's got one here. Rap, you want to read this one here? Go. There we go.
It's DJ Wanham is looking like he's taking a step forward this season so far. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been shouting out DJ Wanham, man. I said DJ Wanham flies under the radar. He's a dude that tends to always just grow, you know, and proves that he can play the sport. Come on. Yeah, you can get her. You won't be on camera. Come on. But yeah, you can. Hey. But yeah, you can man, I like DJ Wanham, man. That's my boy. You feel me?
Your boy Cam too. Your boy Cam played good today.
Almost had that interception, man.
Almost had to pick.
Hey,
man.
talk light. You hear me? Like, hey, Cam, that boy for real, man. I've been telling people, man, give him a chance. You know, he got thrown in there as a rookie and he's learning on the fly. You got to understand. He don't get the chance to play behind no veteran and learn. He got to play he got to learn on the fly. He making it happen.
Hey man, I respect it. He's been playing great. He looked a whole lot better in coverage today. I'm used to seeing him up making tackles against the run, but he played really good in coverage today. So I got to give him his credit. But hey, big news, we haven't touched on this really. The loss of Lewis Seen, man. Lewis Seen looks like he's gonna be out for the season. I believe they said it's a fractured ankle. If you saw it, it was really ugly. You might not want to go back and look at it.
Yeah, don't look at it.
But that's unfortunate, and that makes that Harrison Smith possible injury, if it is a hand or a wrist, a lot more serious. Because now, you know, we can talk about how good Metellus has looked and buying him and blah blah blah, but that's it. We're bringing up Miles Dorn, who I like, so I think he's gonna come up to the 53-man roster and be a part of that safety depth chart. So. Yeah, man. Shout out to Lewis Seen, speedy recovery. They said he stayed back in the UK to have surgery done, I believe. Yes. So unfortunate news for the first-round rookie who actually saw his first time on the defensive side of the ball today, too. So he is actually getting some PT and then just snapped his ankle on a special teams play. So unfortunate, Lewis Seen. Luckily, we do have some depth at the safety position to where if Metellus has to play, we know he's capable. Let's just hope Harrison Smith is good and it's nothing serious. So shout out Lewis Seen, man. Unfortunate news.
Yeah, I mean that group we have, that safety group we have, man, it's a blessing to know that we have some guys that really can't play. Now, Dorn, he's a missile, you know. He played a good game in one of them preseason games that I remember. He was just out there laying the hat. But we got to see him through a full game if it comes down to it, I guess. We'll have to see how he can actually handle a full game. But Cam Bynum's been disappointing me, man, the past couple of weeks. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It just seems like he's just been late on a lot of plays. Like he's just showing up late.
Just a split second, though. Just a split
second. Like he just needs to get his timing a little better, man. You know, but
it'll get there. I think it'll get there. Just like the offense, I think it's just gonna take a little time. Now we're running out of that excuse. Me and Justin touched on it earlier. We're running out of the excuse of, hey, it's going to take a while for us to get used to this offense and get used to that. We're running out of that excuse. Eventually, it's going to be like, hey, you're just going to have to go out there and perform, plain and simple. So, but nonetheless, man, we're 3-1. We got to feel good about this. If we were to say going into the season, hey, after the first 4 weeks, we're going to be 3-1. You going to take it? Hell yeah, I'm gonna take it.
I actually caught. That's actually where I was at. You know, I had us losing to the Eagles game. I had us losing the Eagles game, even though after we beat Green Bay, I did switch it though. So I kind of reneged because I was like, you know what, I was hyped. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I was one of them ones. You know, after the way I seen we play with the Packers, I'm like, you know what? I think the tides have changed. They have shifted, and I mean, still yet they have. Still yet they have though, you know, still yet I'm proving right. I mean, we lost Monday night, but at the end of the day, we 3-1, you know, like who would have thought we would have been 3-1 going after 4 games, we 3-1. And then we get to roll into what are we playing Chicago? Is it a home game or away game?
Yeah, we're home game.
And we playing Chicago in the bank. Like, come on, bro. Like, we can't lose to Chicago. We should be 4. We're gonna be 4-1 next Sunday. But you know, the Vikings,
no joke, man.
That travel's no joke, but the Vikings, man, you know, you know how we do, man. The Vikings they will tend to never surprise us when it comes to games that we should win. The game we're going to be like, yo, the Bears that can't even put a touchdown on the board, we're going to wind up, they're going to score 30 on us. But we'll talk about that.
They look
this
so
week.
bad offensively. They look so horrible.
I mean, Justin Fields looks horrible. This guy cannot play the quarterback position at this moment. I mean, it's just not.
Don't play the BS cover 2 shell on him. You got to send some pressure, man. You got to.
You've got enough film on this guy to know that whatever 4 teams have done, it has worked. I know they squeaked out a win against San Francisco in bad weather, but that's all well and good. But I don't know if it's him, if he's really that bad, or if it's just the infrastructure around him in Chicago. But right now, he just does not look anywhere close to the guy that we thought he might be coming out of Ohio State there. I'll say this, Rap. We talked a little bit about this before you got on, before Mo joined us there, but did you watch any of the Patriots kicking away the game to the Packers? You get to see any of that game, or what are your thoughts on what you saw there?
I was watching it, man. I was pretty much locked into that game, man, because I was like, damn, the Patriots actually, and I don't know if y'all remember, man. I was telling y'all, man, Zappy, that boy Zappy is the truth, bro. Like, I've been saying that back in the offseason when I seen him play in the preseason. I said, all right, now y'all sleeping. That boy Zappy, he that boy. And look, he's proven again. All right, he's proven that he might take Mac Jones' job. Dog, this man better than Mac Jones.
I don't know if I go that far.
All right. Sleep if you want to, boy. Mac Jones is not it. I'm telling you, he's not it. But I mean, listen, they had the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had the game, and I hate the Packers, man. They just find a way to always just get. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like every time I watch them, it's just always comes down to the last second too, and they always find a way to squeak it out, man. They did that, Aaron Rodgers throws 500 touchdown pass today. So congratulations to him. But man, as far as the Packers and all, like, yeah, for real though.
Damn congratulations.
But I like A-Rod though, man. I like A-Rod, man. I like A-Rod, man. He a baller, man. He weird as hell, but
I'll give him the baller part, but fuck him.
Yeah. I want somebody, man. I can't wait until we get our quarterback that we can have for 10 plus years. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I know some people believe we already got that guy, but
we got him. He'll be here for 10 years. What year is he on right now? 6? 5?
This is number 5.
Boy, if we keep him for 5 more, you got to be shitting me, boy. Hell no.
I know we wasn't gonna go down this road.
That ain't happening.
I'm going to make this quick. I'm not going to turn this into a Wagnerian opera about he who shall not be named.
He who shall not be named. Dang, me and Dave used that for Sean Mannion. You know what I mean? And dang, you putting that title on Kurt. That's funny. Wow.
I'm going to say it like this. If he's here for another 3 more years, as an example, and he ends up passing Fran Tarkenton and passing yards and touchdowns, I do not want to hear about how he is the best quarterback in Viking history because he has the most yards and touchdowns.
You know it's coming.
Well, stop already. Let's not compare any quarterback who plays in the 2000 teens.
Hey, listen, some believe he's already the best we've ever had. Some believe he's already the best we ever had, and that says a lot. Which is ridiculous. Minnesota Vikings.
But
we don't have the.
Mike and I did a show back in July about him versus Dante, and we both went back and forth. And there's compelling arguments there, and I don't have a problem having the discussion of has Kirk passed Dante yet.
I think we on to something, Justin. Man, I think we should start a Hate 8 show, man. Straight up.
No,
man.
Because I'm already mislabeled as a cousin hater, and I don't want any more.
Lean into it, baby. Lean into it.
I'm not leaning into that.
Hey, you know how you know what SK tell us, man. Hey, lean into it. Quit straddling the fence, man. Shit, tell how it is. You hear me? I'm with you, dog. I got your back, bro. Believe that.
If anybody got your back, Rap got your back when it comes to that. I got your back.
You know what I mean? The Hate 8 show. Let's get to it.
Well, I got to disagree.
All that extra hype for no reason.
Well, I will grant you definitely that. Well, let's talk about this comment, John. Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, and the Vikings. Listen, I have said this for probably since Kirk Cousins got here. There are probably 8 or 10 quarterbacks that fit the same mold as Kirk Cousins, which is if they're on rookie contracts, you love those guys because you can build up your team around them, and they're better than these backup quarterbacks that we've named about 4 or 5 of them here already tonight. When they're getting paid on their non-rookie contracts up to their market value, and they are good but not great, then everything else around them has got to be really, really solid. Jimmy Garoppolo, by and large, and Kirk Cousins are the same guy for different reasons. Garoppolo has a higher ceiling than Kirk Cousins does. He will, on occasion, do some things that Kirk Cousins straight up won't do. But he's also got a lower floor than Kirk Cousins does.
About
he
that,
will just
man.
throw interception.
I can't say
interception
Garoppolo better than Kurt, Justin. I can't say that, and I can't say Garoppolo got a higher ceiling than Kurt. I can't say that.
I can't.
Kirk at his best.
I done seen Garoppolo do some just dumb IQ play, bro. Just like last week, for example, this man ran out of the back of the end zone. Like what?
Here's what I'm saying, though, Rat. Here's what I'm saying. In 2019, when he is basically got Patrick Mahomes beat in the Super Bowl. Yes, he had a great offensive line, which made he had a great running game, and he had a great defensive line, which means he had a good defense. I'll say the same thing. If Kirk Cousins is on that 2019 San Francisco 49er team, they absolutely go to the Super Bowl and are in the same position and maybe actually do beat Patrick Mahomes. What I'm saying is that there was a couple of games that year where Jimmy Garoppolo took that team on his back. He went into New Orleans and put up 48 points in his prime Drew Brees and won that game. And that's the reason why we ended up going to the Saints in the wild card round that year, as opposed to going to San Francisco, because Jimmy Garoppolo beat that team. So all I'm saying is that he's got a little bit more of a leadership mentality, and he has a little bit more of a gunslinger mentality, where sometimes that will get him into trouble and he'll throw some dumb passes. But what I'm saying is that he still has that little something in him. So that's what I mean by higher ceiling but lower floor. Kirk Cousins is the steadiest guy of all of those guys. Cousins, Goff, Garoppolo.
Bro, listen, that makes perfect sense, bro. Like I shared a video on Twitter the other day that I seen a short, and it was random. I'm not looking for anything. This shit just popped up on my feed, and it just said the most average NFL player in history. And I swear to God, I clicked the link, and sure enough, this guy's talking about Kirk Cousins. He said, listen, if you look at his record and if you just look at his record, I mean, it just proves, it don't get more average than that. This man is exactly 500, bro. Exactly. You know.
Now, let me be clear about this last thing here. Let me be clear on this last thing. At this particular point, I'm talking about the concept of Jimmy Garoppolo at his best versus Kirk Cousins at his best. Yes, right now, today, this season, I'm taking Kirk Cousins all day, every day over Jimmy Garoppolo. So I don't want people to think that I'm stumping that we should trade for Jimmy Garoppolo right now. That wasn't what my point is. My point is that in the video that I did with Mike, yes, Dante Culpepper's best seasons are better than Kirk Cousins' best seasons, but Dante Culpepper's horrible seasons are way worse than Kirk Cousins' horrible season. So my point is that you got a guy in Kirk Cousins who's pretty much a steady train, and you got Dante who's a roller coaster who's got his ups and downs. Which one do you want if you're in a Super Bowl and you need one drive? Do you want a guy who's going to be steady and is not going to make a mistake, or do you want a guy that has the potential to make a mistake but also a potential to make a ridiculous play? That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I want a risk taker. Man. You know, and that's
until he throws that game-losing interception.
Right, until he throws it. But you got to listen, I'm a firm believer, because you got to apply this to life too. You know, you won't get nowhere if you don't take risk. You feel me? For example, SK, what you did the other night when you said you did your first stand-up, I peeped you, bro. Listen, you got to take that chance. You feel me? That's the only way you can apply this to football. That's the only way you're going to get somewhere in life, man. I'm telling this to the chat. Listen, I done took plenty risk in my life. Sometimes you're going to fail, but those failures make you who you will become, man, and you'll be happy that you failed when you did. So that's why we can run into Matthew Stafford. That's why he won a Super Bowl. People say, well, you can't compare him to Kurt because, you know, he gunslings it, but you saw what happened. No look pass in the Super Bowl. A crucial down. This man did a no look. Did y'all forget? This man did a no look. That is a champion, bro. Kirk Cousins would never even. I'm
gonna say this. I got one for you. I got one, and then I'll let you go, SK. I am in no way, because I don't want anybody to come back at me and say, well, Justin said Case Keenum's better than Kirk Cousins.
Oh, no, you said Garoppolo better. Don't backtrack now.
I did not say that. You're not even funny, dog. You are not even funny. What I'm going to say is simply this. Kirk Cousins has miles upon miles more talent than Case Keenum does. Better arm strength, better accuracy. Yeah. But Case Keenum has moxie, and he has leadership.
Yeah.
There is no way Kirk Cousins would have thrown that pass to Stephon Diggs in the Minneapolis Miracle game. He wouldn't. He just would not have. He would have thrown the ball to Kyle Rudolph and hoped that he got a first down, or he would have set up Kai Forbath for another 54-yard field goal attempt. Case Keenum threw that ball saying, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna see if Diggs can do this. He had no intention of him going for a touchdown, but there's no way Kirk Cousins makes that pass. So I'm not saying that means I would rather have Case Keenum. I'm saying that if I could take Case Keenum's mentality with Kirk Cousins' arm talent, that's what I would want.
Perfect quarterback.
Yeah, but those really don't exist. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. He's still got all the talent in the world, and he's still struggling all over the place.
I mean, Kirk's not the only quarterback that's struggling.
Correct.
It's damn near the whole, besides probably Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, look at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield look horrible, and shout out to Steven, man, because I know he sticks up for Kirk, man, and Steven, we not trying to bash Kirk. We actually enjoy Kirk this season.
Kirk
we
can be
high hope for him. But we just know, like, there's a ceiling too with Kirk, though. You know what I mean? You got to have a team that can win the Super Bowl. He won't win it for you. That's all we're saying. But
Steven, I 100% agree. I will take Kirk over Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I'll take him over any day. Any day. Shit. Matter of fact, I'll take Zappy over Baker Mayfield. You saw Zappy play tonight.
I've been adamant even through the offseason. I'll take Kirk over Kyler Murray. I'll take Kirk over Derek Carr.
Oh, no, you tripping with that. I can't agree with you with that. No,
listen. Watch these games. Do you guys watch the Arizona Cardinals games?
I just seen him win the game today. I ain't gonna cap. Nah, their offense starting out slow. Now I give them that, but you seen what he did today, though. Now he was balling.
Next time you got some time and you're able to get an Arizona Cardinals game on your television, watch it.
Yeah,
watch it and tell me with a straight face that you will take Kyler Murray right now over Kirk Cousins.
But let me ask you this, SK.
That's gonna be tough.
Let me ask you this, SK. Arizona has been kind of a conversation the past couple of years ever since Kyler got there. Let me tell you the difference with Kyler Murray, man. Kyler Murray, for one, has barely lost football before he got to the NFL. This man went undefeated for 4 years straight in high school, won the state champion, went to college, went undefeated again. I think they might have lost one game in Oklahoma, won the Heisman or whatever, first round pick. And then he got to Arizona. It took about 2 years, but then what? A couple of years later, they went 11. They went on a little streak. What was that? It wasn't last year. Now they always happen to fall off. I give it that. But
give me one big game or big moment that you remember Kyler Murray. You can give him the Raiders game this year, but we all know what the Raiders are. We know what the Raiders are. They do this year in and year out. They always give up games to different teams. It doesn't matter. Outside of that, give me one moment or big game you remember Kyler Murray doing anything of significance.
There's this really big. Hold on, I got one for you. I got one for you. There was this really big game, and I don't know. We might not remember it because it was rather obscure. But there was this big game last year in week 2 where he outdueled the top 5 quarterback in Kirk Cousins and won that game.
Yeah.
Week 2 against the defense that we were complaining about all last season, how terrible they were.
Yeah, I mean, he don't really get props to outdo it. He don't really get props to beat us because Cooper Rush beat us. But the thing is this, though.
I was joking, guys. I was joking.
Kyler Murray, though, man. I mean, SK, it's just this, man. Like, we just gonna have to agree to disagree. I mean, it just is what it is. Kyler Murray to me is a champion. If you put Kyler Murray on a team that's built, you're going to the Super Bowl. I can promise you are going to.
That Cardinals team ain't built. He ain't got weapons.
Not really. I mean, they're wide receivers. I mean, Hopkins is out. They got AJ Green that's hobbled
the past 2 seasons, though.
Yeah, but he and when they did have him, you saw what they were doing, though. I mean, they won 11-0, but didn't they win like 8-9 games in a row? Like they went like
7-0.
What they do in the playoffs?
What did we do in the playoffs?
Let me pull up Kyler Murray's playoff stats.
But you got to remember, they also lost to the team that won the Super Bowl too, though. You know, so I mean, it's what it is.
They won 11 games in a regular season. That shouldn't matter, right?
You think Kurt would have won? You think Kurt would have won that many games on Arizona? You think Kurt would have won that many games on Arizona, SK?
Yes.
You think Kurt would have went down there and won that many games, man? No, man.
Yeah.
You're not welcome on the Hate 8 show with us, man. Absolutely. Hey, Justin, we're not adding SK on the Hate 8 show, man.
Look, look, we're gonna rehash this conversation a year from now, and then we're gonna rehash it again a year from now. And I guarantee you, we're gonna be sitting here and we're all gonna agree Kirk was better quarterback than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray doesn't have any significance or anything to back his point of being a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. Nothing. Stats. Maybe he runs better than Kirk Cousins. I'll give him that. Decision making, can't give it over. Stat wise, can't give it over to him.
Yeah.
Hell,
I mean, we'll see.
Well, I'm going on a
we'll
Kyler
see.
Murray rant, and I'm gonna let it flow.
Hey, you hate Kyler, boy. Oh, but we see who SK
puts a stipulation in your contract to where you have to study 4 hours of film a week. A week.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Any quarterback in this league is studying 4 hours of film a day, not a week.
Yeah.
And it's obvious. You can go back, you can watch the film. Anybody that studies the quarterback position, I'm not saying I'm the guy that studies it and I'm detailed and stuff like that. If you go back to any quarterback film guru, he's going to sit there and show you. He's not going through his reads. He has this guy wide open, but he's going to look elsewhere. He's going to run around, and he's going to play high school football. You cannot play high school football in the NFL. It's not going to work. And when the two quarterbacks came into the NFL, that's Mahomes and Kyler Murray. I put them on the same pedestal of being, okay, they're a little gimmicky, but they got to learn how to get out of that gimmicky phase and become an actual quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is doing that. Kyler Murray's not. Arizona gave him that money far too early, and it's going to bite them in the ass in a couple years. I guarantee it. I will put money on it. Because
I don't think so,
Kyler
man.
Murray, you're a quarterback. You cannot be uncommitted as a quarterback. You cannot be a franchise quarterback and rely on strictly your talent.
One second, SK. Did you just hear what we said, though, before we started talking about Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray has won a championship at every single level. If we can go back to his Pop Warner football days. I mean, he's proven that he's been a good quarterback, man. I think he's.
Let me play referee for a second here.
Go ahead, Justin.
No, finish your thought.
You can get away with being extremely talented and athletic in college, in high school, in Pop Warner, and win all the games in the world. But when it comes to the NFL, it is a completely different game. It's not just, I'm just going to roll my helmet out there and I'm going to run around and do what I've been doing my entire life. That doesn't work. You got to put in that extra effort. And this game is more mental than it is physical. More than you think.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of film study. And as a quarterback for the team that is giving you money to be their franchise quarterback, which before they even gave him that money, it was an issue. They were fighting back and forth. They didn't want to give him that money. The thing is Arizona didn't have a choice. They didn't have any other option at quarterback. If they didn't pay Kyler, he wasn't going to play. So you got to pay the guy, or you're going to roll out there whoever the hell.
Oh, trust me, teams would have been fucking fighting over, bro. That phone would have been going off the meter.
Arizona wasn't in a position to have any other options. What were they going to do? Go trade for Baker Mayfield? No,
I wouldn't do that. Yeah,
you got to go with the guy you got, and I guarantee you, Cliff Kingsbury's not going to be the coach of this Arizona Cardinals team past next season, and Kyler Murray is going to his contract's going to kick the Arizona Cardinals in the ass by the end of his deal. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, because he's not committed. And again, a team is paying you to be their franchise quarterback. If they
you know what, SK, you're also making a point about our boy Kurt, though. It kind of what you're explaining is kind of showing, it's kind of happening with us, with Kurt. You know, when we gave him all that money and we got nowhere but 8-8. You know what I mean? His big ass contract.
No, the thing is that Kirk will go out of his way to go that extra mile to get better. Kyler doesn't have that in him. He relies strictly on his athleticism and what got him winning in high school, what got him winning in college. That's not going to translate to the NFL. It's going to help. It's going to make you exciting to watch. But it's also going to put you in a position to fail because you don't have the mentality that a franchise NFL quarterback needs to have to be successful throughout his career. His luck's going to run out unless he turns into a guy that's really going to sit there, study film, and be the mental quarterback. It's not going to work. That's how I feel about Kyler Murray. I know this ain't a Cardinals show. This is a Vikings show.
No, but yeah, we talk. I mean, it's still, you know. Yeah,
Kirk Cousins
yeah,
is better
that's
than
hey,
Kyler
look,
Murray, and I will fall on a sword saying that.
you gonna
Kirk
die on a
Cousins
hill.
is
You gonna
better.
die on that hill, innit?
I'll die on that hill if I have to. I will take
I know
Kirk
that's
Cousins
right.
all day over Kyler Murray, and that's not me
Hey,
being
I ain't
biased.
mad. I ain't mad at you though. Like honestly, like that's not like a horrible. It's not like it's a horrible thing either. So I'm not mad at you to feel that way. I mean, I obviously feel different. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not mad at you
no.
for feeling like that.
Yeah.
You know, I just
had to
think
vent a
Kirk
little.
Cousins.
I just had to vent.
Yeah. I just believe that Murray actually has that championship gene in him that you just got to have to win a Super Bowl. I just think that he can overcome certain things that Kirk Cousins could never. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason. I just feel like
I haven't
I
seen
feel
him do
like
it,
I
though.
have seen Kyler Murray put the team on his back, man. I feel like I've watched him plenty times put the Arizona Cardinals on his back and take him.
But
to
we've
victory,
also seen Kirk Cousins put the team on his back and win games. We saw it these past 2 weeks.
Here's how I would. Here's how I would. Here's how I would.
I'll agree with you. I'll agree.
Here's how I would mediate it. What I'm saying is this: if you tell me Kirk Cousins on a $40 million cap hit versus Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson on $1.5 million cap hits, I'm taking Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson's.
That's a given.
But
I'm talking about this strictly straight up.
Right. If you're talking strictly straight up, that's a different debate because Kyler and Lamar, they're not statues. They could run. They can do all sorts of things. And it gets back to the same thing I've said about a bunch of other quarterbacks. They have the ability, as Rap was saying, to pull the rabbit out of the hat on a more consistent basis than Kirk Cousins does. But they also have the ability to completely torpedo a game by making terribly dumb mistakes. You can say that about so many different kinds of quarterbacks. You can say that about Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray,
anybody.
Who were just talking about? Matt Stafford. Yeah. So the argument isn't which one is more talented. The argument is which one would you rather have, knowing what their skill sets are. Do you want a guy that is very rarely going to make debilitating mistakes, but is also rarely going to just be like, I cannot believe he just did that? Yes, we can talk about Kirk the last couple of weeks, and we can go back to that one game in New Orleans in the playoffs where he was in overtime in a tie game where he made one ridiculously good throw to Thielen and a great jump ball to Kyle Rudolph. But when you're in a tie game, it's not like you're having to. When's the last time you said, I cannot believe Kirk Cousins just made that throw and made that play? I don't know. I'm asking rhetorically.
The first one that comes to mind is his first season with the Vikings against the Packers, where he made that throw to Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, right? That's what got me sold. That's why we gave him the money. Came out here.
That was a hell of a throw.
Back to victory. We ended up in a tie because Carlson couldn't kick a damn football.
What an idiot! And now he's the best kicker in the league, damn near. What? I mean, how that work? How does that work?
We're not going to touch on that. That's how it works for us Vikings fans. But that's the first one that comes
where I'm going with it is this.
I agree though, SK. That was a hell of a throw.
Yeah.
If you ask me, if I had to pay $40 million to Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott, which one am I going to take? I don't want either one of them. I don't want either one of them at that price. I think it's splitting hairs. If I had to,
if I had to, I'm taking Dak. I'm taking Dak.
I'm taking Dak, but it's by like this much.
Your best ability is your availability, and Dak has been hurt every season for the past 3 years.
Is it 3 years? Is it? Hold on. Is it 3 or is it just these past two?
Last year and this year, and I believe
last year he played the whole season. Last year he played the whole season. He came back from that ankle injury and played the whole season. I believe.
We played Cooper Rush.
He pulled his hamstring. That's right. Yeah, he pulled his calf. I mean, you're right.
He missed 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, that's true. I got
you.
So
every year he's missed games. Kirk doesn't miss games. I mean, look, they're in the same tier.
They're in the same boat, but I think Dak a little better, man. I ain't gonna cap, man.
I think the way I would say it,
I'm dying on that hill, SK. I'm dying on that hill. Don't argue.
Here's how I evaluate it.
Dak's gonna be how I evaluate next to you on the hill. Like.
How I evaluate it is this: is the best I can get from Kirk Cousins or the best I can get from Dak Prescott? Which one of those two? Yes, you're right. Part of the evaluation has to be that Kirk Cousins is always available and Dak Prescott isn't. But I'm saying if I could wave a magic wand and say, okay, I am in the Super Bowl and I could take Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott to win me one game. Therefore, I've eliminated the availability.
One game. I'm definitely taking Dak. One game, you crazy? I'm taking almost anybody over Kirk if it's just one game. Kirk. I mean, I'm taking a lot of people over Kirk if it's one game.
Sorry, I'm going Kirk.
I'm letting you know that right now.
I haven't seen Dak step up and win a game like that. Like we're talking about, put the team on his shoulder and win a game in the playoffs. I haven't seen it. He may have done it in the regular season.
You are correct,
but I have him in the same tier as Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is that much better than Dak Prescott, but what separates it for me is him being available, and I feel more comfortable with Kirk. I do.
Do you think you can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott? Do you think you can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott?
I think you can. I think you can, bro. Why not? This dude is a leader, bro. Dak is a Dak is a general, bro.
With Kirk than I would Dak to win a Super Bowl.
All right, I'll ask the question a different way.
No, hell no.
But what is Dak?
Would it be fair?
What is Dak proven to show that he can know? Is what I'm.
No, asking. I'm not disagreeing with you. Here's where I'm going with my line of questioning, Your Honor. What I'm saying is this: is it fair to say we know what Dak Prescott's ceiling is?
Yes,
by and large.
Yeah.
Well, last year he threw, the year before last, he threw for almost like 5,000 yards. So, and he's been in the league for how many years, and he still continues to show people that he can throw for a hell of a amount of, especially when he got the wide receivers.
The argument you use against Kirk is the argument you're using for Dak. You can't do that, right?
What are you talking about? What argument?
I was going to say the same thing. Here's
Yeah, but he always makes it to the playoffs, though. Dak always makes it to the playoffs. Now they can't win in the playoffs.
Always make it to the playoffs.
What does he do when he gets there? What does he do when he gets there?
They make it to the playoffs damn near every year, man. They lost last year. They didn't make it. You know, they win the NFC East almost every year. Come on, man. Ever since Dak's been there, they win the NFC
East.
This is where I'm going with this.
It's the playoffs, man. God dang.
My opinion is unless you have a very, 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 very good roster.
No,
the ceiling for Kirk Cousins is probably the divisional round of the playoffs.
No, but
I'll say the same thing. Hold on. I will say the same thing about Dak Prescott.
Yep.
I will say the same thing about Matthew Stafford. I will say the same thing about Justin Herbert. As of right now, maybe he's got a chance to become better than that. But right now, that's where I put
Herbert over Kirk. I'm taking Herbert over Kirk.
Okay, thank you. But my point is that to me, all of these guys have the same ceiling, which is if it's on them, you can say. If they get to the divisional round of the playoffs, okay, that's about where they should take you. If you got to an NFC or AFC championship game with all of these guys, Matt Ryan is in this category, Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Garoppolo when he was better, Jared Goff when he was with LA. If you got to the championship game, okay, that's gravy. But my point is that with all of these different quarterbacks, you have to say that their ceiling, by and large, is the divisional round of the playoffs. So where I'm going with all of this is I don't want any of these guys unless I have what Stafford had last year, which was that he had enough around him to where he was in a position to do something with it. But that's going to be a one-hit wonder. Matt Stafford and the Rams are not going to be what they were last year for the next 5 years. They had last year and they have this year. And after that, their window is closed. So where I'm going with all of this is at some point to me, and part of the reason why I'm a little irritated the last 3 years when the Vikings have just decided to keep running it back and everything else is I already know what my upper limit is with not only this quarterback, but with this team. And that's why I don't know what the upper limit of Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson is as of yet. Now, to your point, SK, right now, Kyler Murray is still on the back end of his rookie deal. He has signed his extension, but his big numbers don't kick in for another 2 years. So I don't like people saying, well, see, Kyler Murray's averaging $46 million a year and Kirk Cousins is only $31 million, so he's a better value. No, he's not. Not this year, he's not. But to your point, in 2 years, let's reevaluate it. If Kyler Murray hasn't taken any steps forward, then at that particular point in time, I will say Kyler Murray did not end up being better than Cousins and company. But I guess to me, what I'm saying is that I'm looking more beyond just this week and this season.
Listen, I'm looking at it like this.
Baseball within 5 years.
I'm looking at it like this. It don't matter about the money. Kyler Murray plays quarterback better than Kirk Cousins. There ain't no money changing none of that. I don't care what you're talking about.
He does not play
Kyler Murray's a better quarterback. Kyler Murray's a better quarterback, SK.
I think the better way to say it, Rap, I think the better way to say it is like this. If you
agree with me, right, Justin? You agree with me, though, right?
I agree parts of what you're saying. I agree in part what he's saying. See, this is me straddling the line again.
Here you go with straddling the fence. Listen, you need to start picking a side. Quit being on both sides.
Here's my side, Rep.
Heyday.
Here's my side. My side is
Tell
this.
him SK lean into it, man. God damn.
What I'm saying is this. I know where Kirk Cousins' ceiling is, which is, like I said, the divisional round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't know if Kyler Murray has that same ceiling. He
Alright, so who
very
you
well
picking?
may.
So who
He
you
very
picking?
well may have that ceiling. And I've got 1 or 2 more years in my evaluation of him before
Nah,
I
man.
finally
Nah,
say,
man. You can't wait 1 or 2 more years. Pick tonight on the purple code in front of all of our fans right now. Pick tonight.
all
Who
right,
you taking?
all right, I'll give it to you like this then. I'll give it to you like this. If you told me that this was the final year of the NFL
Yeah.
and that the NFL was going away after this season and I
Right.
had 1 more year to win a Super Bowl,
Right.
I
Who you
would
taking?
take Kyler Murray on the
Thank
chance
you.
that he's going to possibly be better than Kirk. Not because I believe he is, but I believe there's a possibility because right now we're talking about possibilities with Kyler Murray. We're talking about possibilities with Lamar Jackson. At this
Yeah.
point, we know who Cousins is. Is that fair, SK, to say we
Exactly.
know what he is?
Exactly. We know exactly who he is.
Well,
We know
I'll tell
exactly
you
who
this
he
right
is.
now.
He's
I
62,
can't
62 and 2.
I can't fully say that because this is the first time he has a coach that actually supports him and actually wants him. That makes a huge difference. That makes a huge difference.
All right, I guess
And
I will
look-
end the conversation of Kirk Cousins on that note. I'll say it like this. To me, what I have seen after 4 weeks is that the team has done a better job of pulling out close games than they did last year.
Mhm.
But to me, Kirk Cousins pretty much looks pretty much the same
Exactly the same.
as he has. Now it's only 4
Exactly the
games now.
same.
Now it's
He-
only
he
4
actually
games.
He hasn't looked as good as he looked last year.
Yeah, actually, he
He
looked better. He
actually
looked a little better
underperformed, in my
last year,
opinion.
low key. Yeah, he did look a little
No,
better
he
last
did.
year so far. Yeah.
But if we want to talk about significant games,
Yeah.
let's pull up Kyler Murray's
Here we
playoff.
go. I knew SK was over there stewing the pot. Boy, hey,
Yeah.
Kyler Murray is SK's least favorite quarterback in the NFL. We figuring that out tonight, guys.
19 for 34, 19 for 34, 55% completion percentage for 137 yards,
Yeah.
1 and 2 interceptions, no touchdowns.
Who did he play? Who they play?
And 2 interceptions. I believe he played was it the Rams last year? It was the
Oh,
Rams.
yeah. That was
That's
an ugly
right.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an ugly game.
Listen, if
Yeah.
Kirk went out there and had a game like that, he would be crucified. He would be crucified if Kirk went out there in the playoffs and
Oh,
had
yeah.
a game like that.
He would be.
All I'm
Fact.
saying, I don't care about age. I don't care if it was his first playoff game. If you're going to consider Kyler Murray a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, then you should hold him to a higher standard than 137 yards and 2 interceptions, right?
Facts.
So why
Facts.
aren't we keeping the same energy for Kyler Murray, for all these guys that are considered better quarterbacks than Kirk Cousins? Why aren't we keeping that same energy when they have a shitty performance?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
No.
I
I'm
do.
not
I
saying
do. You know, I do.
specifically, Justin. I'm just saying in general. I'm
Yeah.
saying
Oh,
in general.
sure.
I get what you're saying, though. Like the media
National
and stuff.
media,
Like,
majority of the fan base. Why aren't
Yeah.
we holding other quarterbacks accountable for what we hold Kirk accountable for when these quarterbacks are quote unquote better quarterbacks than Kirk Cousins is?
yeah.
Steven makes a
That's
good
what I
point
want to
here.
know.
He makes a very good point. Oh boy, boss man Rick gonna get it. See, we went long enough. We knew boss man was gonna get it. Before I let you in, Rick.
Yeah, I got my
I think-
backup. I got my backup. My backup.
Rick's in there now, boy. It's Kurt
And let
over
me-
everything now, boy. Hold
Let
up,
me make
boy.
this
Hey,
very, very clear. Let me make
I ain't
this
got
very,
nothing
very
else
clear.
to say, man.
I am declining your invitation, Rap, to be part of the heyday because I'm not getting down with either
Oh,
one of
now
those
he's
sides
saying
here.
that. Now he's saying that because
I said that the whole time.
I'm
I've said
still
that
with
the
it.
whole time.
I'm still with it.
Rick, tell us your thoughts on today's game. That's what you came to talk about, right?
No, of course not. I just came to say hi. I came
He
to see,
came to back me up.
He came to say hi. He came to say hi, man. That's it.
My backup came through. That's all it is.
Well, Rick, the floor is
Kyler
yours.
Murray
Go
or
ahead.
Kirk.
I came to see what you guys were up to.
You know
Wait,
what?
the
hey,
floor is yours.
who are you taking, Rick? Kyler Murray or Kirk, man? I
We
mean,
all
I
know
know
that.
the answer, but who you taking?
You know his answer.
Like today, like as of today.
Yeah,
Right
as
now.
of today.
As of if you were starting a team, today, would you take Kirk Cousins or would you start a team
Past,
with Kyler
future,
Murray?
present. I want to know
Yeah.
all three because all three are going to be the same answer. I guarantee you. As it should be.
If I was starting a team today,
Mhm.
I take Kyler Murray because he's
No, Rick.
what 23, 24. What is he?
Yeah, he's younger. Yeah, I think he's on like 23 or
5
24.
years.
Yeah.
He'll be playing baseball in 5 years.
So he's 10 years younger than Kirk.
That is correct. Okay, so if you're starting a team moving forward, you're saying Kyler Murray. If you had to take either one of those two quarterbacks for one season on the Vikings now, for one season on the
Let's
Vikings.
just say this season. Let's just say this season, regardless of the age, just this season right now.
Kirk.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey,
I mean,
that's not a
different-
crazy take. I don't think it's a crazy take. You know what I mean?
No,
That's
it's not.
No, it's
legit.
not a crazy
it's legit.
take either way.
Yeah.
I just want people to keep the same energy.
You pose the question differently. If I were to start a team, I take Kyler Murray because he's way younger. If
Right.
you ask me today, then it's Kirk because he's way more experienced.
Yeah.
But you're picking Kyler strictly off age. That's strictly off the age factor, not play.
Correct.
All right, I'll ask you a different question. Which would you take? Kirk Cousins at his market value of, $35-40 million cap hit, or Kyler Murray on a rookie contract at, say, $5 million cap hit, regardless of age, regardless of year?
I missed the whole question because my internet signal is faulting me again. I'm gonna have to exit the room and I'm gonna come back on my phone. Okay,
that's fine.
All right.
Get back.
I'm actually gonna tap out, guys. I was
gonna say we need to wrap this anyway here. We'll stay on here for him to come back. But I guess what I'm ultimately trying to say is it's not always about ability. It's not always about availability. It's
Go
not
ahead,
always
SK, so we can start this Hate 8 show, man. And
Man,
we got
no,
my
I am
boy
not
Shane.
part of
We
that.
got my boy Shane Jackson in the building, man. Shout out Shane in the building. Hey, Shane, just for you, baby.
Thank
We
you,
starting this
Shane.
Hate 8.
Let him know, Shane.
Hey, we
SK,
starting
I'm
this
asking
Hate
one
8
more
show
question.
for you, Shane, just for you.
Yeah.
Rab, let me ask him one more question.
Go ahead.
In that 2019 divisional game, after we beat the Saints and we got slaughtered by the 49ers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That was Stephon Diggs' last game, 27-10.
Yeah.
Do you think the Vikings would have had a better shot with Kirk Cousins where they lost by 17, or do you think that the current version of Kyler Murray would have given the Vikings a better chance?
No, we didn't stand a
Murray.
chance in that game, and that goes directly to our coaching staff. That goes directly.
So you don't
to our
think that
coaching
Kyler
staff.
Murray's scrambling ability would have been a little bit of an advantage against that 49ers D line? Uh-oh. Well, we lost
he
him.
tapped out. Hey, look at God, man. Look at God. When you talking crazy, you know what I mean, you get tapped out the show. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody want to hear all that, man.
All right,
that my boy SK, man. That my boy SK. SK know what he talking about.
All right, Rick, we've done enough of the back and forth here. Why don't you give your opinions on that and then talk to us about what you want regarding the game today?
Okay, well, first of all, sorry about that with my internet issues. Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah, we got you.
Perfect. All right, so today's game, the Vikings for one series showed the potential of this offense. I mean, they look unstoppable for that first series. Then after that, I think the Saints made adjustments. We got to remember, guys, that the NFL, there's a lot of parity in the NFL. I mean, it's hard to expect that you're gonna come in and you're gonna blow out every team every week. It's just this is the reason why we like the NFL so much, is because there's so much parity. I mean, we for a moment we thought the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to pull the huge upset and beat the Eagles, and then the Eagles come back and win. So, and the Patriots, they took it to the Packers with the second stringer, third stringer, or whatever. There's a lot of parity in this league, and the Saints, you got to give it to the Saints because the Saints have a good defense. They have a good defense, and the Vikings just steamrolled them right away, and they made adjustments, and their front seven, especially their front four, they were tough to deal with. Mm-hmm. So, having said that, do the Vikings have a lot of areas that they need to improve on? Absolutely, especially on defense. But you guys saw, I don't know if you saw the statistic on TV. The Cousins had out of the 33 dropbacks, he had 20 hurries or 15 hurry ups or whatever. The offensive line played mediocre, I think. So yeah, I mean, the Vikings have a lot of things to work on. The good news is, and I'm sure you guys already talked about this, the good news is at this same point of last year after the Browns game, the Vikings were 1-3 and asking all kinds of questions like where did it go wrong? And Joseph missed the field goal in Arizona, and Dalvin Cook fumble in Cincinnati. Well, now you're in a different place, and when you're 3-1 and you're winning games, it's easier to work on those things you got to work on, because the Vikings have a lot of things to work on. This is a team that by any means does not look like one that can compete for a Super Bowl with the AFC. I mean, the AFC looks really, really tough, or even the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles look like they're the real deal so far in September. I'm telling you guys, we should not be crowning any teams in September. It's September. I get it now. It's October 2nd, but it's way too early. The Bills could barely squeak the win in Baltimore. Everybody was ready to give them the trophy, last week. It's not the way the NFL works. But I do like the fact that the ugly, whatever you want to call it, but lucky, sometimes the breaks don't go our way, which it happened in 2021, and now the breaks are going our way. So when they don't go our way, we were mad, and now that they go our way, we can't be mad. We still have to have some joy that the team is 3-1, but a lot of improvements need to be made, especially on defense, and on offense as well. I mean, the first series needs to be something that needs to repeat itself throughout the game.
Yeah. Good take, well, I'll say good this. Take. I agree with everything you said. Hey, Rick hit it right on the head, man. Good stuff for sure.
Yeah. So SK and I did this in the.
I still don't agree with you with Kirk Cousins, though. I'm gonna just let you know that right now.
That's a whole nother show we could do. What I was going to say is that what both SK and I talked about earlier on today's show and earlier in this show is it is better that it's the offense that has areas that could see a lot of improvement versus the defense. The defense is what it is. Okay. Mm-hmm. The defense is giving you everything it can. If you had told us going into Philly that they were going to give up 24, we would have taken that. If you had told us today, hey, against the Saints, we're going to give up 25, we would have taken that. So the fact that the defense is pretty much at the highest as it's going to be, but the offense still has room to grow, I would rather see that than our offense being, this is what their peak potential is. And the only areas of improvement that could really make a difference would be defensively. So I agree what you're saying. We still got to do a lot better pressuring any quarterback, whether it's Goff or whether it's Andy Dalton, and we're gonna have to try and contain.
Where's Danielle Hunter? Where's
Danielle Hunter?
Can that just be play calling though? I think, is it just the play call? Like, what do you notice, Rick? Like, is it just because it can't be personnel? I mean, like you said, we got Danielle Hunters, the Darius Smith. I mean, it definitely cannot be personnel. It has to be the play calling.
Well, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever, I brought up the point that it was going to be difficult for Hunter to transition into the 3-4, rushing the passer, standing. And people said, no, he's going to be fine, blah, 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 blah. It's not easy after, 5 years or 6 years or however long he's been playing to ask a guy, okay, now I need you to do something different. There's an adjustment period. And I don't know if you guys noticed it today. There were a few plays where I saw Hunter with his hand in the dirt.
Yes.
So I think Donatel is kind of realizing, okay, hold on a second. I got to somehow bring this guy a little slower into the new scheme. I cannot just ask him, hey, stand up and pass rush, because he's not used to that. So I think slowly, hopefully, we're going to see him a little more involved. Now, I know the PFF says that he's still, grading pretty well and pressures from the outside and yada, yada, yada. But we all know that Danielle Hunter hasn't had the impact from other seasons. And it's correct. Yes, it's sacks, but he's usually on top of the quarterback, pretty quickly, and we just haven't seen that.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I said to SK, or that SK actually said to me, is like, why don't we blitz more? And I said, well, maybe Donatel has realized that the personnel that he has does not lend itself to blitz, 2-3 times a quarter. That maybe he's got to save those bullets for crunch time. Which, if you look at the last 2 weeks, Goff and frankly Dalton today for the first 3.5 quarters looked totally different, and then they brought some pressures towards the end of the game when they needed to. Am I on to something, or am I on something when I say I don't think he feels comfortable bringing too many blitzes because he's afraid of exposing the back end, and he's kind of saved those for crunch time, so to speak? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. And now it's something that we need to keep in mind that Donatello is this from the same school of thought as Mike Zimmer. You know,
I can tell too.
Bend but don't break. Bend but don't break. Bend but don't break. I mean, we thought we were done with the soft coverage, you know, the entire freaking game, and we're still seeing that a lot because they're the same little bit school of thought. So they're not as aggressive. They're a little more like, you know, let's play to not lose or to not give up the big play. But let me go back to the offense, guys, because the issues, because there were issues. You know, people talk about the 3 and outs last year and blah, blah, blah. There were issues last year and maybe even going into 2020 in the red zone. Okay?
Yes.
And this year, we know it's the new scheme, the new coach, the new offensive coordinator, the play caller, blah, blah, blah. But we continue to see the same inefficiencies inside the red zone. I mean, if the Vikings convert, you know, how many field goals they had to sell for?
5.
Okay, but where they were inside the red zone.
Oh, at least 4. I don't remember if the fifth. No, 4 in the red zone. 4. Yeah, 4 in the red zone.
So okay, so let's say you do have to settle for 1, but let's say you score touchdowns on the other 3. This is a blowout. This game is a blowout.
Yes.
That's what I was saying, man. It should have been a blowout.
So the issues, fortunately, I think have to do with just that red zone part. Now it's easier said than done, because this is carrying from the last couple of years where the Vikings, you know, get inside the 15 and they come out empty-handed, meaning not a touchdown, and they end up kicking the field goal. And it's not like you don't have playmakers in Thielen and Jefferson and even, you know, Dalvin Cook. And I continue to say, and I'm going to just keep saying this, Irv Smith Jr. can help with that. Because Kyle Rudolph used to catch a lot of touchdowns, right? In the red zone.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to raise their hand and say, I'm the guy, you can throw me the ball up high, and I'm going to do the high ball, and I'm going to grab it.
Right.
I mean, we need Irv Smith to do it. I mean, Mont, no. And Ellefson is just a blocking guy. I think that's something that the team needs to work on. You know, those high point catches. You know, Stephon Diggs was so good at those contested catches in the end zone. So we're gonna have to work on that, because that game would have been, you know, 45 to whatever. It would have been a blowout.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I guess I'll say it like this. It is better to win these games than lose these games. As you said, last year we were 1-3 at this particular point in time. Mm-hmm. And one thing we were said earlier before we got into the who shall not be named discussion is one thing you can say that O'Connell has done better is this team has, even though it has in some ways shot itself in the foot to be putting itself in these positions, they're still finding ways to get out of them by and large. Last year, I don't think they win either one of these last 2 weeks. I think, as you said, record's the same as 1-3. Did we maybe over-evaluate the improvements on the offensive line after 3 games? Because, you know, and we know that the defensive line in particular, but the defense in general for the Saints is still a very stout defense. But Cam Jordan and company really ate up both O'Neal and Darrisaw. What did you see from our offensive line? I mean, was it just that maybe we overrated how much they have improved? Were the Saints defensive line that good? I mean, what are your thoughts on our offensive line? Because to me, that really took Dalvin Cook out of rhythm, and to a certain extent, the passing game out of rhythm as well. I mean, give me your thoughts on the O-line today, Rick.
Well, I can speak to today, but then you got to look at the entire season so far. I mean, the Packers' defensive line is pretty good. The Eagles' defensive line is very good. And then, you know, you look at the Lions with Aiden Hutchinson, Malcolm Rodriguez. And you know, today the Saints is another very good team on the front seven. So, I mean, they've been playing good teams. Mm-hmm. And what I can at least, you know, say is that, to me, they've been middle of the road. So at least they're not like, you know, the bottom of the barrel. I mean, they're just kind of middle of the road. So if we said anything that they were better than middle of the road, I think we would have been maybe exaggerating. But so far, it's been middle of the road, and we'll see with the Chicago Bears coming in on Sunday if you know, they're going to manhandle them a little bit better. But yeah, I'm, you know, extremely pleasantly surprised with Garrett Bradbury being the sixth best center according to PFF.
Hey, listen, most
into this
improved
week.
player of the year. Most improved player of the year right now. That's a fact.
I don't know
I'm
what he's
surprised
gonna
too,
grab.
Rick. That's crazy. That's crazy that he's playing as good as he is right now.
And you know, not having a fifth-year option given to you, it kind of does some wonders too. And you know, kudos for Bradbury, because he was so incredibly criticized, you know, the entire offseason, and
rightfully so, though. Rightfully so. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he deserved all the criticism, but how about shout out to KOC and you know, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, man, for not giving him that fifth-year option to motivate him. You know, I think that was a strategic move to say, hey, we taking it off the table. You know what I mean? You go out there, show us what you got. And he's proven, and he's showing right now, man, that he's hungry, and you got to respect the man that you know does that for sure.
And I'm gonna say something that you guys are gonna love, because I know you're gonna love this. There was one of the failed red zone trips that the Vikings had.
Yeah.
When Cousins came to the sideline, I mean, I couldn't tell the words, but I can read body language pretty good. I mean, O'Connell was like, "Come on, man! We gotta be able to make something happen here." So I mean, I think O'Connell he's you know helping Kirk and bringing the best out of Kirk and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I think O'Connell is also kind of like, okay, I got this expectation that we got to score when we're there. We can't be coming back with field goals every time. So granted, I don't want you to force the ball, but I mean.
And one more thing to that, Rick. I was watching. There was a play that happened in the red zone. We I think we stalled out. Kirk Cousins. I think that was a throw that I think that's the one he threw to Thielen. They said that JJ was open in the corner, but he threw it to Thielen. We stalled out, kicked the field goal. He went and sat down with JJ and Thielen and them instead of going, you know, to his own bench and looking at the surface, and actually sat and bonded with them, and they had conversation. Those are things I like to see. You know, shout out to Kurt for doing that too. You know what I mean? I like to see that, like, go over there, talk to your receiver, get their confidence back up, you know, and just talk about what y'all can do to fix it. And, you know, the following drive, I mean, they scooted their way downfield. Now, mind you, it stalled out again, but still yet, though, you know, it just showed at least they're trying. At least they're taking steps forward to really bond. I think that collaboration thing we've been hearing all offseason, I think we're starting to actually see it during the games too, you know, so good.
That wrap, but like I said, we know that the Jefferson, Thielen, you know, in the red zone, there are guys that are going to run the routes and try to get open. But if they're covered, you gotta have the high point guy. You gotta have the guy that is like, okay, he's covered. I'm just gonna toss it up in the air, and this guy's just gonna jump in and grab it. And Irv Smith Jr. has to be that guy. He has
too short.
But I don't know who else is gonna be.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, though. Maybe we don't have that guy. Maybe because Rudolph was that guy. I'm sure that's where you're leaning, right? Rudolph was that guy, you know, and that makes the most sense because he scored a ton of touchdowns catching it when it looks like Kurt's throwing it out of bounds, but Rudolph like sticks his monster arm up there and just snatches it. You know, I've seen that play plenty times and watching the Vikings. So you're right, Rick. That's a good point. You know, we don't have that. I don't think we have that guy. You know,
and how many times in 2018, 2019, especially 2019, how many times Kirk would look his way because he'd be like, okay, this guy's covered, that guy's covered. I'm just tossing it up in the air to Rudolph, and Rudolph's gonna come down with it.
Yeah, well, and he throws it. He makes the throw to where it either is going to go out of bounds or Rudolph's going to catch it. I mean, those are the two options. You know, and Rudolph comes down with him oftentimes. So that was a good thing to have. You know, that makes a lot of sense. I never really thought about it like that till you mentioned it. Because Irv Smith is just absolutely too small, and then Munt doesn't seem like an athletic type guy where he's going to be jumping up over people and stuff. I mean, it's just not going to happen. You know, and then Irv's only like 6'1". KJ Osborne's then just as big as Irv Smith in a way. I mean, he might be a little stiffer, but I mean, that's it.
Is there somebody out there that we can be looking at to bring in with those characteristics?
Maybe Jimmy Graham. Maybe Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham being a free agent and just, you know, just for red zone purposes. Hey, roll out there in red zone and with though he's like 6'6". Like he's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Never know. Hey. We bring you in only when we're in the red zone. Jimmy Graham is when you're gonna come in and be the tight. You're gonna be the red zone tight end. So where you're gonna do jump balls. All right. Every ball that gets thrown to you, and he played basketball. He used to. I think he led his college team in rebounds and all that. I mean, those are the type of players you need, man, in the red zone, honestly.
Can you do that, though? Can you give a veteran minimum contract and then take up a roster spot for a guy that you're just going to put in at the 20?
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't dig deep.
I mean, Rick, you know more about that roster stuff and salary cap than I do. I mean, could you afford to, just chop off a roster spot for a player like that?
But probably not. But again, I know he's short, but I mean, why do we have Irv Smith Jr. then? I mean,
yeah. I know. For real. It do make sense. Like, why? Because he's just like another receiver, honestly, if you think about it. I mean, he's not that good at blocking from what I've been seeing. He's not like an elite blocker. We have to bring in another guy to block for him when we have to run certain plays. And we have him in there like a hybrid receiver. I mean, I think we need a true tight end. Like you said, Rick, we need a tall guy that's big, can move a little bit, kind of like Munt size, but also has the athletic ability to, when we get in the red zone, we give Kurt that big target, give him that big target. And I think that will convert into points.
I mean, like I said, look how many times Cousins went Rudolph's way for a touchdown, especially like I said in 2019. And then you look at Cousins when he was in Washington with Jordan Reed. I mean, he just Jordan Reed in the end zone all day long. Yeah. And I just feel like I don't want to say that is the entire issue with going in the red zone and coming out with field goals. I'm saying Kirk Cousins, if you look at his history in the red zone, he uses the tight end a lot.
Dang, bro, you might be on to something, Rick. I ain't gonna lie, you might be on it. I might got to do a video dedicated to that. We might be on to something here tonight. Boy, I ain't lying. That makes a lot of sense. It really does. It really does. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, Dave actually put up a halfway decent point. If Lewis Cine is out for the year, maybe that would open up a spot. Do you think that would be something worth investing in, or do you think we should be taking somebody off the practice squad?
But didn't we just sign a tight end like last week from the Seattle's practice squad or something like that? Wasn't there like a tight end that popped up on the roster? I thought like a week ago or something. I can't remember.
I don't know if it was anybody of any consequence.
Somebody for the practice squad. I think I know what you're referring to. Somebody for the practice squad. No, I'm talking to an impact player, a guy that you can bring in the red zone. And if Thielen and Jefferson are covered, then you send it up in the air and the guy grabs it. Like I said, look, it'd be interesting to find out, on trips to the red zone in Kirk Cousins' career, what is the percentage that he goes to that tall tight end for him to just go up there and grab the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a big difference with tight ends in the red zone being big and tall, because the field is obviously compact at that point, and you just need that target. I mean, when you're down there at the 10-yard line and the end zone is just crowded with people, you need that guy who's towering, you know what I mean, that you can say, hey, here, let me throw a jump ball to you. You know what I mean? Irv Smith, I mean, he's hiding behind the linebackers and stuff. I mean, he's not that tall. He's not that big of a guy. He's just not, and it just is what it is. So, I mean, I agree, man. I know Shane's saying, guys, chill. We're fine at tight end. We just have to execute better. I mean, that could be something too, but I think it would help, though. I think it would convert into points. Now, would it convert into a touchdown every drive? Absolutely not. But I think, it would convert into points as the season progresses. Look what Munt did today. Munt dropped an easy pass.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. If you go back, the 4 games this year, and you go back to 2021, and then maybe even further back, how many touchdown passes you remember Kirk Cousins throwing to a tight end?
Oh, I remember a lot. I remember a lot of him throwing to a tight. Yeah, I mean, just
no. I'm talking in the last couple of years.
Oh, in the last couple of years. I mean, well, I know he loved Rudolph, man. I know I've seen tons of
Rudolph's been gone for 2 years now. So I'm saying since Rudolph left.
Oh, yeah. He hasn't been throwing many since Rudolph left. Yeah. Because we had Tyler Conklin, right? Tyler Conklin pretty much and he's not that type of guy either. I mean, he's almost just like Irv Smith, a little slower and stuff like that. Not as athletic. Man. But I like Tyler, though. Tyler would have been a good keep.
But Conklin, do you remember him catching a touchdown pass from Cousins?
No, I don't remember him catching a touchdown pass like that, though. No. I don't. I really don't. Yeah, you're right though. We do need to make that move. We need to make that move and see if we can get somebody big in there. Even if it's a veteran. We ain't asking for the world. Just give us a veteran that can get in there and make it happen.
Justin, you missed my question. Since Cal Rudolph left, how many touchdown passes has Kirk Cousins thrown to a tight end?
I don't think has there been any this year? Like one, isn't there?
I might be. You know, I was going to say Irv Smith Jr., but he was hurt last year. But Conklin, did he throw a touchdown pass to Conklin?
One or two. I think it's probably like I think three at the most. Off the top of my head, I don't.
They were rollout. They were more like probably rollout type passes, not like not like, hey, it's getting hectic. You're going through your reads, and then let me dump it.
Now, the second part of my question: if you go back to when Cal Rudolph was on the team, how many did he throw to Cal Rudolph?
Oh, well, that would have been from 18 and 19 and 20. So for 3 years, probably at least 20, I would guess.
Yeah. There's your fix for the red zone problems that we've had the last 2 years.
So call Tampa Bay and offer him a 3rd-round pick for Kyle, or what do you?
Well, I'm saying that, a tight end with those characteristics.
Yeah, I mean, when they said Kyle might come back, I was all for it though. I mean, I was like, shit, come on, you know what I mean? Like, why not? I mean, why not? You know, he's slow, he's getting older, obviously, but just for red zone. Especially. That's it. I'm not talking about a guy that's going to play all the way down the field. I'm talking about red zone. That's it.
True. Well, Rick, I got to tap out in a little bit. So
me too, man. I got to get out here too, man. We had a good time. Close it out. Justin, man. I got to get out of here.
All righty. Well, I do want to thank everybody for joining us. We want to thank Rinaldi's Pizza and Pasta in Woodbury. They're on Wood Lane Drive right off of I-94 and Radio Drive, as well as Nautical Bowls. They're our second sponsor here. Come on, computer, just click this as I'm trying to get out of here. Thank you very much. Well, that's completely threw out my flow here. They're on Hudson Place, and that's off of the intersection of Wisconsin Street and I-94 in Woodbury. If you're in the Woodbury area, please give some love to those guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us here. SK, Rick, Rap, Mo from England. Tune in to the Purple Coat all this week. We've got our normal lineups of shows. I'll be on with Mike and Kyla tomorrow night with the Day with Mike and Kyla. Rap, you and Dave going to be on Tuesday. Joe and you, Rick, will be on Wednesday, and the Cast of Thousands on Thursday and Fridays here. So we got daily content every single day. And the tagline on a day in Mike and Kyla is we just want to see the Vikings win one Super Bowl, just one before we die. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you again tomorrow.